So kia ora tātou, ko Simonne Eldridge tōku ingoa. I'm the Executive Leader Clients and Brands at Tonkin & Taylor Group, and I'm dyslexic. Fantastic and fun and complicated and difficult. But for me, it's about the fact that I see the world in pictures, and that makes it really easy for me to collaborate and think strategically and enjoy what I do, albeit a little chaotic for others at times. So when I first joined T&T, one of the real things for me was to be somewhere quiet, because at that stage I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't take background noise. And so when they first offered me the job, the reason why I took Tonkin & Taylor over other places was because they said that I could have an office. And for me that would mean that I could do the work that I really wanted to do. And then I've got Diane, who's my amazing assistant, and she looks after the chaos that is my day and helps me focus, and she also knows that I think through things to be able to understand them. So for me that's really, really helpful to have someone who just helps me structure my thinking by being, engaged in a conversation. I think that the thing for me that we mustn't lose sight of is the importance of flexible working. So in the post-COVID-19 world, we're trying to get everybody back into the office, and not everybody thrives in an office environment 24/7 or 9 to 5 or whatever the time you're supposed to be at work is. And so I think being a little bit more open to the fact that we want people that bring different ways of thinking, so diverse thinking, into our environment. We also need to accommodate that, and flexible working is one way that we can do that. And then providing different workspaces for people to be able to thrive. So collaborative, having somewhere where you can lay everything out and draw pictures and do all that sort of stuff, and then other places where you can be quiet and focused around what you're doing. So 17 years ago, when I started at T&T, there was no way that I could do detailed, so I was a designer. I couldn't do detailed calculations if there was someone else around. I couldn't concentrate on what I was doing unless I had that ability to be somewhere quiet. Because as a dyslexic person, you lose 25% of what you read on a screen versus your standard reading ability. So it's hard to read in the first place, and then because it's on a screen, it's 25% less still. And so when we work in an environment where there's noise and distraction, it's really hard to keep your train of thought to be able to continue to read what you need to, or concentrate on things. Having said that, I love working around people and I love having conversations, so I also need the environment where I can talk through problems, because otherwise I don't, it stays inside my head and it doesn't come out. We've got a huge amount to offer in a different way of thinking. Dyslexic people tend to be really good at joining dots and seeing much bigger picture than just the small thing that we're looking at. Well, there's lots of things. ChatGPT is a pretty amazing tool, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So it's how do we enable that to be worked on or used in the work environment. Mixing up the way that people work, and then that not forcing everybody to come back into the office all the time. So flexible hours really helps. So you can't, the time that you can focus in a day can often be quite different. And then encouraging good quality sort of exploration conversations to get things when you can tell someone's got their brain stuck. So I picked up that my oldest boy was dyslexic because he didn't crawl. Obviously senior leaders aren't going to see their children, see their staff not crawling. I think probably those that might be more hesitant to write, those that might be more hesitant or slightly confused in the way that they talk. I start in the middle of a sentence a lot, but I'm not sure whether that's just because there's so much going on in my brain or whether it's something to pick up on. And then sometimes it can just be confidence. So there can be some real hesitancy about their abilities or who they are, because most of us have been told at school that we're stupid or we get fired from our first job or, something like that. So the confidence might not be there. I probably got more comfortable with my dyslexia because I decided that my boy needed some support at school, support that I never had. And so when I got over the fact that he was going to be given a label, I suddenly realised that me being honest about my dyslexia was really important. So therefore, everybody's going to be on a different part of the journey around feeling comfortable with it. The most rewarding thing for me now is when I tell people that I'm dyslexic for whatever reason, they go, oh, I've got, I'm just grappling with that with my daughter, or, oh, that, my mother had this problem, or, you find that more and more people have actually connected with it. And so it's quite rewarding to realise that there's that connection with someone else. The future is full of really wicked problems to solve, and if we don't bring diversity of thinking to the solving of problems, then we're just going to fall back on the ways that we've done it in the past. It can be quite tiring having a whole lot of diverse thinkers in an organisation, and sometimes you just feel that means that you can go around in circles and it can be too big. But in reality, that diverse thinking will create a really innovative, creative solutions to those wicked problems of the future.